Alright guys, I think we may have found the very first certified fresh video game adaptation. Now, as of the recording of this video, there is no Rotten Tomatoes score, so right now it's not 100% true that this is going to be certified fresh. But I have been watched all 4 episodes, which was actually shocked to know that it was only 4. I thought they was at least going to do 8, but it's already greenlit for season 2, so there's going to be 10. So this whole 4 was pretty much just the introduction to Castlevania. That's what these 4 episodes was as a whole. So that is how I'm going to judge it. I'm going to judge it as an introduction to the Castlevania franchise and the Castlevania Netflix TV show. And as an introduction, I will say that this show got its hooks in me. I'm interested now. I want to know what's happening here. And it's mostly for my homeboy, Trevor Belmont. This guy is a good main character. He's likable. He's engaging. He's charismatic. The voice work with this guy is amazing. I guess the dude who does his voice, I believe that's Richard, is doing his voice. So he's an engaging character. I want to follow him around. I want to see what he does next. And I'm glad that it was able to capture that, because one of my biggest complaints with a lot of things is if you can't give me good characters, I don't want to watch your movie. I don't want to watch your show. I don't want to watch anything you got if you can't give me those characters that I want to follow. I don't care how great your story is. If the characters suck, I'm out. That's how I am with movies and TV and everything. If your characters suck, I'm out of here. I don't want to see it. So they nailed it down with that. I like Trevor Belmont. I like what he's doing. His personality's cool, and he's a person who's like, listen, you're gonna do what I say, all right? And we're gonna get into a little bit of spoilers here. He's like, you're gonna do what I say. When the speakers was telling him, nah, we're gonna stay and we're gonna, let these people come in and kill us. We gotta sit here and stand up for our, the right to protect and defend against the church and whatnot. He was like, nope, you're leaving right now. And guess what happened? He made him leave. And it was also a pretty comedic moment when the Cyclops was there and it just cut to them. He was like, I could have swore I saw it move. That was a nice funny moment. And there's actually a decent amount of comedy in this show for a horror show based on Castlevania the video game. I did not expect really any comedy. I knew there's gonna be some comedic relief. Everything has some comedic relief, but I didn't think there was going to be as many jokes as there was. But at least the jokes landed. They was mostly funny. I would say around 85 to 95% of these jokes was actually interesting. I chuckled, I giggled, I laughed at least, okay? There's lots of things that don't hit when it comes to the jokes. I'm looking at you, Doctor Strange. But the show starts off with almost a Beauty and the Beast type situation going on, with the woman coming into the castle and this beastly dude, Dracula's up there. And they end up falling in love, and he changes his ways, and he becomes a human, a man, or whatnot. But then things go horribly wrong and tragic, and a killer, she's burned at the stake, which I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was going to happen. I mean, I knew there had to be something to piss Dracula off, to make him want to kill these people, but they just burned his wife. They burnt this dude's wife. Now, I've never played the Castlevania video game, which is why I didn't know that was going to happen. People who've played Castlevania is probably like, come on, dude, how you didn't know that? I'm not a Castlevania fan, but this show has got me very interested in the Castlevania franchise, in the Castlevania video games. Might have to go back and play some Symphony of the Night that people like and whatnot. Though, I don't know, because I feel that what this show has shown is that Castlevania could be much more than the 2D side-scrolling bullcrap it was back in the day. It could be much more than that. But we're just going to have to deal with the game from Don't Nod called Vampire, which looks like everything Castlevania should be if Castlevania was released in today's age. Vampire looks great, so I can't wait for that. I'm going to do some videos on that later on. But back to Castlevania. So that's what starts the story off, is the tragic end to his wife, and he was trying to be human, do things as a human. Things went horribly wrong, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to kill every last one of you guys. So we got some good villains set up from that. Now we got the villain who killed his wife, and we have Dracula as a villain. That's 2 good villains. Now one of those villains, as I said, we're going to go into spoilers territory. We're going to do spoilers. The bishop is already dead. He was killed in episode 3, and I was happy to see the bishop already dead, because villains like him, while they're good, because there's those villains that believe in what they're truly doing is right, villains like him also get rather annoying very quickly. very, very quickly those villains can become annoying because they're just spouting the same nonsense every time they're on screen. The same old, this is for Jesus, you know, that whole, the blood of Christ compels you. Every single time you hear them on screen, and it gets tedious and it's redundant. So I'm glad that he did not make it past 3 episodes. I did not need any more of him. He served his purpose in the introduction to this Castlevania world. Now let's focus on the main villain for season 2, and that is Dracula. Now there's a couple other characters that we're going to be following. We're going to be following the woman whose name slipped my mind already. I just got finished with the show like 5 minutes ago, so I just got finished with the show, so you have to forgive me for forgetting her name. But she's a magician speaker. And, you know, magic in this time, he looks at as witches and whatnot for using magic. She's pretty good with her magic. You know, fire, ice, she could use all types of magic. She's just not limited to just one. She could use wind magic. Let's just call her Avatar, the last airbender, for Christ's sake. So she could do all that. And we got, at the very end of the season, the 4th episode, we got introduced to Alucard, Dracula's son, he was the guy in episode 1 who told Dracula, listen, bro, you can't go out here and kill all these humans. But Dracula was just too strong for him. He couldn't handle him. He couldn't take down his own father. Of course, he probably will by the end of the show, which however many seasons is going to last. If season 2 has 10 episodes, then there's a possibility it could wrap up in season 2. I just don't understand why this was only 4. Like, it served its purpose as an introduction, but why did it just have to be an introduction? Which limits my opinion on it, because I was expecting at least 8. You know, hoping for 12, but it was only 4, so it's a very limited series. They're only 22 minutes apiece. There's not a lot going on here. Like I said, it's just an introduction to the world of Castlevania and an introduction to these characters. The introduction was good. I like the way things were set up, and I can't wait to see more, but it was just so little to go on that it's kind of hard to talk about, honestly. Just so little to go on. Like I said, Trevor Belmont is an amazing, great character. Loving the world that's set up. I love that Beauty and the Beast aspect that kicked us off into the story, you know, into making Dracula a douchebag. That was great. So I'm ready for more Castlevania. I'm ready to get into the meat of things that get a little bit more meaty. Like I said, this was just you step your foot in the door, welcome in. You know, we stepped on the welcome mat. Now let's get into it. So I'm excited for season 2. So let me know what you guys think of Castlevania, the Netflix series. Does this bring you into the Castlevania franchise as a whole? Are you interested in the video games? Can you not wait for the game Vampire because it looks like what Castlevania should be in modern age by Don't Nod Studios? Or do you want Castlevania to come back in its own capacity as a video game? Post those comments down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next vid.